Good afternoon and welcome to the Midday News. I'm Shamela Pula and here's what we have in the bulletin. EOJ gears up for general elections with a $2 billion budget allocation. Justice Minister says Jamaica's safety and security crisis reaches boiling point. And later in sports, Usain Bolt's lawyer speaks out in SSL saga. Now the details. The Electoral Office of Jamaica is gearing up for the general elections constitutionally due on September 3 this year. This following the allocation of nearly $2 billion in the estimates of expenditure for the 2025-2026 financial year. Director of Elections, Glasspool Brown, says more people have been expressing an interest in being it.
The Office of Jamaica have started this preparation. We are now in the phase of recruiting our workers. Then we're going to move into the training of our election day workers. We are also in the process of procuring a number of supplies that we're going to need for the elections. The response is okay so far. We still need a number of persons to come on board. Certain the persons who have worked for us in the past are reapplying, and we have seen an uptick in recent times of new recruits, new applicants. So we are working towards our target, and our target is to recruit at least 25,000 persons to assist us on the day.
Mr. Brown is reminding Jamaicans to collect their voter ID cards or apply for renewal.
It will certainly assist us on the day of election in order to let the process be a little bit more faster than if you do not have your card. So if you have not yet gotten your new ID card, I would suggest that you do collect those at our different offices across the island.
Minister of Justice Delroy Chuck says the country is in a crisis as it relates to safety and security. The minister was speaking at the Justices of the Peace sensitization session at Royalton Negril in Hanover on Wednesday. Kimberly Petty reports.
A room full of justices of the peace from Westmoreland, one of the parish's Justice Minister Delroy Chuck says has been a crime hotspot, and so he is hoping to get their continued support to aid the police in fighting crime. Mr. Chuck noted that the parish recorded 100 murders last year, 17 less than 2023.
We're in serious crisis in Jamaica with regards to security and safety. Westmoreland and the western region has been trouble spots, and the trouble spots have been because you have a number of persons who believe that the way forward is through wrong means.
Mr. Chuck stressed that crime is not the responsibility of the government and police alone, but that law-abiding citizens also have a role to play.
Up to recently, a number of Jamaicans were arrested in the United States, and their addresses were coming from Westmoreland and Hanover. And I'm saying, I don't know how many of you have been seeing it on TikTok or seen it on television. And scamming, for one reason or another, seemed to be a major difficulty in the western part of Jamaica.
He says many tourists would love to experience Jamaica outside the walls of hotels, but crime is robbing them of that opportunity.
Look at the thousands of visitors who are enjoying Jamaica. But they're locked up here in Royalton, locked up in Rio, locked up in Princess Hotel. And they're being told, don't leave, don't go out in the community. Many of them want to drive around Jamaica. But the last thing we want to do is to encourage them to do that, lest they're robbed. And then you get another travel advisory not to come to Jamaica.
On the issue of gangs, he noted that there are too many gangs in Western Jamaica and that
the police have identified some years ago over 300 gangs. Many of them have been neutralized, and many more are being neutralized. It is said you have over 150 now who basically are still active, and the police want to neutralize them.
Kimberly Petty for TVJ News.
The new commanding officer for St. Thomas, Superintendent Michael Campbell, says he will be conducting a review of the crime strategies in the parish this year. Superintendent Campbell noted the crime rate is the same as it was last year this time. He was speaking at a recent municipal corporation meeting.
That Seaford give us. There are sections of Morant Bay and of course Bull Bay in the far west of the parish that we are concentrating our resource. So 3 of these murders, as I indicated, they're not in the hotspots, all right, not the traditional hotspots where we're focusing the resources. And as such, we have to be reviewing our strategies as we deal with them. Engaging the citizens is important. Even as recent as yesterday, we had a community meeting in Friendship Pen, which was one of those places that was giving us problem. But incidentally and interestingly, the conversation is more of historic discussion. One of the things that is giving us some problem to break-ins, we have 5 break-ins so far this year, comparing to the same figure for last year. So we're paying some attention to that. And we have been having discussion with some of the persons who are so impacted. Albion, for example, Yalas, we had community meeting there and some persons explained the challenges that they're having. We're also focusing on our senior citizens, having some discussion with them about ways in which they can harden, we call it target hardening.
Tension is running high in Swallowfield, St. Andrew, as residents are accusing members of the security forces of mistreatment and abuse. The details in this report.
Residents of Providence Pen Lane and Spalding Lane in Swallowfield, St. Andrew, claim they are being harassed.
Them both enough shot, unusual shot for no purpose at all. Them coming out of the lane and them both shot the next lane, them both shot. We have spent shell. We still have spent shell. The young man and talk to him. The man tell them out of them sleep. Carry them go lock them up.
And the young men them in the community, them terrorize them totally. Right? If them run when they are coming, them say a gunman. If them stand up, them take them and beat them. So we don't know what to do. If somebody die in the community, we try to keep 9-9. No, we're not having nothing. We have no fun in here. They're running corners and send out so speed. The corner shops, them close them early. We need justice.
Member of Parliament for St. Andrews Southeastern, Julian Robinson, says he's aware of the problem.
The problem is the actions of some policemen, and I'm not going to say it's every policeman. There are about 3 names of certain policemen who are behaving very unprofessionally. And I want to say at the outset, none of the residents are saying that the police mustn't do their work. In fact, the residents welcome the police presence, but there are some policemen who are not conducting their responsibilities professionally.
Mr. Robinson says he has had dialogue with the police high command on the issue, and so he's hoping there will be improvements.
We had a situation here where they broke off the grill for a door, they took down people's cameras, they took some men from the community, drove them through another community which is in conflict with this one. So the issue here is that if you are coming into a community to do your operations, treat people with respect and do it professionally. If you're going to search premises, you must have a warrant and you must treat people with respect.
Anthony Atkinson, TVJ News.
As the agriculture sector recovers from last year's weather events, there are still complaints about the quality of some produce and the shortage of watermelons. The details in this report.
The agriculture sector may be recovering steadily, but some farmers insist things are far from what they used to be.
Some man have to dig deep and them pocket to look money. And why they are bank have to just go dry if you don't know where they go dead and more breeze are come, you know.
And so it's no surprise those who depend on the farmers are feeling the pinch. TVJ News has learned that hoteliers across the island are having supply issues. In addition to shortage of some fruits and vegetables, quality of some produce is also a challenge.
There's a massive shortage of watermelon. The Ministry of Agriculture has intervened with the private sector, and that problem is now being corrected as we speak with the bringing in of watermelon to supply the sector until the sector in Jamaica, the agriculture sector in Jamaica, can produce the right amounts of watermelon that's required for the tourism industry. We also have a challenge, of course, with bananas, which were very badly impacted, of course, by Hurricane Beryl, and we expect that situation to stabilize in coming weeks.
A farmer in St. Elizabeth explained that last year's weather events have significantly impacted crops and now uncertainty lingers.
Well, I don't know what the problem with melon, because we plant melon over there and everything turn up in the air in a beer. Again, then I'm beer. So everybody now really afraid of melon to plant melon, because if you plant 2 acre melon, I loses that because it come like in a beer. So that's the whole thing. With the shortage of melon, everybody afraid of the planting.
Agriculture Minister Floyd Green has taken note of the matter and says weekly assessments are being carried out. He's hoping the matter will improve soon. However, frustration is growing among some consumers.
We have taken a collaborative approach with the Ministry of Tourism, the Ministry of Agriculture, and our private sector to work together to address these issues. And we hope to see some improvement soon.
Nakinski Robinson, TVJ News.
It's time for a break. Stay with us. More stories when we return. Welcome back to the Midday News. Governor General Sir Patrick Allen is set to return to his official duties on Monday. This following a leave of absence to recover from spinal surgery he underwent in December last year. Custis of Kingston, Stedman Fuller, has been acting as Governor General since December 16. Mr. Fuller's tenure in his capacity comes to an end today. St. Anne is said to benefit from 3 new health centers in Ocherius, Brownstown and St. Anne's Bay. According to Health Minister Dr. Christopher Tufton, these new facilities will be constructed at a cost of $12 billion. He says plans are quite advanced for the projects.
So in short order, you're talking about over $1 billion, right? 1.7 billion Jamaican dollars will be announced. And this is not a dream. Designs have been completed. Procurement is almost completed. In fact, I believe I was told yesterday actually that they were going to send now the documents to IDB for non-objection, because it's a partnership, so it goes to Washington. And hopefully the contractors will be selected soon under this competitive tendering, and you'll see that work commence.
Dr. Tufton also highlighted the significant investments made in upgrading health facilities in the parish. He says since 2020, billions of dollars have been spent in improvements.
$60 million for equipping the 2 additional operating theaters, $90 million for the procurement of water storage, $10 million for central air conditioning, $54 million for panel bus and 3 ambulances, relocation of social work, psychiatry and maintenance department, $71 million, $55 million for the development of 40-chair regional nephrology center, procurement of new morgue refrigeration, $16 million, $20 million for sterilizer.
It's now time for the Business Minute. Access Financial Services is reporting a significant boost in profits, with a consolidated net profit after tax of $353 million for the 9 months ended December 31, 2024. This represents a 9% increase, or $28 million, compared to the same period last year. This growth was driven by a 14% in rise in interest income from loans. Operating expenses increased by 2%, mainly due to higher credit loss allowances. However, the fourth quarter showed strong results, with profit before tax surging 52% to $198 million, fueled by a 12% increase in interest income from loans. Further afield, Google Play is bringing back TikTok. The company said it restored the platform to its U.S. App Store Thursday. That's after President Donald Trump signed an executive action to delay a ban on the app and his promises to save it. The question of TikTok's future in the U.S. stems from a law signed last April by then-President Joe Biden, citing national security concerns. After that, the Supreme Court upheld the ban. Apple also restored TikTok to its App Store Thursday evening. Time now for the top regional and international stories.
In the region, a development consultant in Belize is seeking an injunction to halt the March 12 elections. Jeremy Enriquez has cited the need for redistricting before citizens go to the polls. But opponents argue that there is not enough time and delaying elections could extend to the Prime Minister's term undemocratically. On the international scene, Pope Francis is to be admitted to a Rome hospital for treatment of ongoing bronchitis and diagnostic tests. His health has been a concern due to past lung issues and recent surgeries. Despite health challenges, he continues with official duties, including meetings with leaders. And those were the top regional and international stories. I'm Anthony Atkinson, TVJ News.
We take another break. Sports is next.